This is black limba. This right here is
green.
spalted maple. That's actually from here out of Vancouver Lakes.
What's this guitar going to do that your typical guitar on the rack doesn't do?
Well, it's going to have a different sound. Most of your guitars got rosewood fretboards or maple fretboards. They got mahogany necks or maple necks, mahogany bodies, swamp ash bodies, alder bodies. For this neck, we'll go ahead and glue his frets in, and then we'll go along with like a bone nut from a string nut, like this little guy right here, and you'll be able to go around and hear the difference from one that's glued in and one that's not. You know, and it keeps you from getting dead frets, you know.
Bring that over. Let's.
This was something that Yngwie Malmsteen came up with, and so we kind of attributed that. Now, guys like Steve Vai, Billy Sheehan, bass player, different guys, they use that. You don't have to press as hard, and you don't catch your finger on the wood. So you can play really light, and it's for more finesse players that play really fast. Some guys don't like it at all. Pick guard on it.
So does this project already have an owner to it? Or is this
Kerry King from Slayer.
Oh, okay.
So that one will be going to him. I built one like that, similar, for Zakk Wylde from Black Label Society and Ozzy Osbourne. And we felt that Kerry should have one too. And so there's another neck through guitar. I sandwiched them in between where the body wings join. And again, I got the post,
yeah,
you know, in the neck and in the body as much as possible, or close.
So it utilizes
both pieces. You know, these pieces, I don't want a big piece of neck coming through here and then having these weights kind of hanging off of it.
Right.
You
Dead
know,
weight.
I want, in a sense, because it's glued together. And it really does make a difference. Some people will go, well, that's not, it's glued together. That does make a difference. Again, there's no tone in glue. You know, so I need this to become part of just keeping what's sustaining and not killing it. You know.
Now explain for the people that don't know on the sustain how the guitar built correctly can improve the sound and the quality of your playing.
Well, the best way to put it is more guitar, less effects, less amp. So, you know, less relying on the pickups and things like that. So we want to start with the guitar itself being able to carry its own weight as far as tone and sound goes. Then we add and adjust things to it to bring that sound out, not to change it.
Right.
You know, people literally will have a crappy sounding guitar because it's made out of, I got guitars that people brought over that were made out of plywood.
Wow. With that sustain, basically you play and the note carries. Without that, you play and it's hard to keep that note alive.
Well, yeah, and then the note becomes, you know, and the more it sustains and the more that the wood projects that note, you know, and keeps it alive and makes it big and the louder it plays, the less you're going to have to rely on other stuff, which is going to start sounding non-musical, is the way I like to put it.
Yeah.
There's nothing musical, in my opinion, about a bunch of circuitry.
Right. Well, if I was going to go shopping for a guitar and I wanted to get started, you know, what are some of the things that I want to be looking for?
Well, first thing is you're going to want to think about if you're not a player and you want to be a player, you're going to want to find something. What is your goal? You know, what kind of music turns you on? What kind of guitar playing turns you on? I mean, everybody will. And for a lot of guys, you know, the scale length basically is from this nut to somewhere in these saddles in here. 25 and a half is pretty standard for Strat style guitars. You know, your Ibanez and stuff like that. Then your Gibsons have a 24 3/4, or by old standards a little bit less than that. And that brings the frets closer together. For somebody that doesn't have hands like Michael Jordan, you know, fingers this long, or like George Lynch or some of these guys where they can stretch from here to here with one stretch, that makes it a little more comfortable. So you look at that. You want to make sure that you get the guitar set up. Just don't go grab the guitar and you got the strings are that high off the fretboard and you're trying to play and you're just learning, you have no strength in your hands. Get it set up like it's supposed to be. In any guitar shop that's really that good, or music store, they're going to have an inside guy that should set that up for you for free. Yeah. Get it at least set up so it's playable, get it stroked. You want to make sure that it's in tune from here and that this, you know, at the 12th fret from here down, is in tune with everything up here. Otherwise, when you're playing here, you start playing here, you're going to go out of tune. And then that's, something you can have a guitar tech do.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole series, which I'm pretty excited about, that's going to be talking about, the selection of strings, of picks,
pickups,
amps,
effects, wood, upgrading. You can take a nice guitar. That's a $700 guitar to begin with that Ivan has up there. I went ahead and ripped the pickups out of it. They were nice pickups to begin with. They were all right, but I wanted something different. I put 3 totally different things in there because I want, many different sounds out of that guitar as I could get it. Because at the time it was my one and main axe, my main guitar. And then I added some electronics that worked for me for what I wanted it to do. And so I actually use them, instead of just going, oh, look, a guitar with a bunch of switches on it, and then, you don't even know what they do or what they're for or why. I like to have my stuff done for me, what I actually think I'm going to use. Why? The more wiring and electronics you have in here, coming through here before it goes out to your amp, it's just more stuff to get in the way of the tone of this guitar.
So the people can see that something as small as selecting a pick. Do you have a couple of picks that we can hear some difference in some tones?
Yeah, the average picks that most guys get, and I call it the acoustic guitar pick because it's kind of good for strumming, but it's kind of a little bit flimsy, and it delays your note a little bit. When you're actually picking, you can hear, you'll get a delay when you're playing with that drummer.
Right.
And especially recording. So I don't like that. No pick there. Here's a big pick for aggressive players. This is actually, looks like it's Blasco, the bass player for Mozzie. I got from him and Zach some of these. And Zach uses kind of the same thing. And you can really hear it digs in. It's real abrupt right there. It has a different sound to it.
That's deeper.
It's got a deeper sound to it, and it's more aggressive, but it doesn't, you got to really try to play soft with it. And then I use little jazz picks because they're more precise, more finesse, and they're not as loud.
Very clean.
Very clean, and everything's precision, and you can stay in time, and that's why I like them. That's why jazz players use them. When you're playing that clean and that kind of a band, it's important, to be right on,
Okay, so tell me a little bit why this pick does what it does.
It's rounded on the edges. It's thick still, like this pick, so it's still deliberate, so you're not going to have that delay.
Right.
But it's, you can actually hear it rolls off really easy, and I can use just a little bit of the tip. This is flat, and I gotta literally bring the pick out of the string, in a sense, or really push hard to get it to come to the other side.
Roll off.
It doesn't roll off, so it gives a different type of sound. Wish I could hook up the amp right now. You can really hear the difference, but you can hear it's
I can hear it here clean. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's definitely clean.
And then you go to this one.
Yeah.
And it's a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing. Of course, and the trick is to use as little of the pick as you need. So there's a lot of little tricks, man. We can get into a bazillion different things on playing style, guitars, wood, and we'll get into all that stuff.
Well, the next video, it sounds like we need to go into a guitar shop and look at the selections and start off from the basics of how to pick the guitar.
Pick a guitar, pick an amp, and get it set up. If you're looking to be like Eddie Van Halen and sound like Eddie Van Halen and play like Eddie Van Halen, you're not gonna, because you ain't Eddie Van Halen. But we can find the best of you. That's what we're gonna help you do is find, and you may be the next Eddie Van Halen.
Surpass.
Well, we all been trying to do that for a while. I don't know. He's pretty good, But there's a lot of guys that are good, and you could just be the next guy that everybody else wants to be.
Well, let's head over to the guitar store and see how we can get started with this.
Cool.
All right.